Not so fast. Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, is already declaring victory and assuming that she's going to be dropped from Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. No. Hello, my fam. It is Perez here, the queen of all media, the original influencer, and your number one source for everything It Ends With Us saga. As I shared with you earlier this week, Litigation Lively's longtime publicist, Leslie Sloan, reached an agreement with this Daily Mail journalist. In his first amended complaint, Justin Baldoni included communications between James Vituska, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, a journalist at the Daily Mail, and members of Baldoni's team. In that exchange, the Daily Mail reporter told Team Baldoni that Leslie Sloan alleged that Justin Baldoni sexually assaulted Blake Lively. And that formed the basis of the defamation claim against the publicist. So, for a while now, behind the scenes, Sloan's attorney has been in cahoots with the Daily Mail's lawyer, not just responding to the subpoena request for all of James's communications with Team Baldoni, but also what ended up happening was, instead of handing everything over, Sloan was more than happy to just accept a declaration. In this declaration, the Daily Mail reporter stated that he misremembered things. That Leslie Sloan never claimed Justin Baldoni sexually assaulted Diva Pool, and now she's proclaiming victory. However, I need to remind Sloan that I'm looking at this journalist's declaration right now. And he declares, quote, "In those text messages with Team Baldoni, my use of the phrase sexually assaulted was a mistake. I meant to say sexually harassed. I regret this error." Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I would imagine there's a good ground for defamation if somebody is falsely alleging sexual harassment. Doesn't matter if it's sexual assault, harassment, if not true, especially in this post-Me Too era, and especially with the speed at which allegations travel, and especially given the fact that so many people are guilty until presumed innocent, I think falsely accusing someone of sexual harassment is defamation. And other things she said, like, nobody in the cast likes him. Is that true? Is that true, or is that defamatory, Leslie Sloan? Well, in a new statement gloating to the press, which she might regret, a rep for the rep says the following, quote, "After being wrongfully dragged into this litigation, Leslie Sloan has repeatedly stated that she never used the phrase sexually assaulted, which formed the basis of Baldoni's meritless defamation claim against her. And today, she is fully vindicated by the declaration of James Vituska that admits she never said those words." The declaration also makes clear that the Wayfarer parties never even bothered to attempt to confirm whether the outrageous allegations they were launching at Miss Sloan were true, and they were not. The Wayfarer parties attempted to ruin Miss Sloan's reputation with this vicious and wrongful attack, and she has consistently told the truth, and justice has prevailed. Hold your horses! That last sentence implies that you're no longer a part of this complaint. You are. Leslie Sloan nor her lawyer are the ones to determine when justice prevails. A jury and or judge are the ones to do that. Hasn't happened yet. And I'm not a lawyer, but if you are, please enlighten us all and perhaps correct me if I might be wrong. Is it not possible, still at this stage in the process, that Team Baldoni Wayfarer file an amended complaint with new charges against Leslie Sloan if, for whatever, the defamation claims are dropped? Seems likely, especially because Team Baldoni has already claimed that Leslie Sloan and her company, Vision PR, quote, played an active and integral role in a conspiracy to inflict harm on the Wayfarer parties. In their March response to Sloan's motion to be dismissed from the case, Baldoni's lawyers claimed that Sloan conspired with her clients to make scapegoats of the Wayfarer parties for Lively's woes. They called it Sloan's desperate effort to salvage Lively's reputation and to escape Lively's wrath while receiving bad press around the release of It Ends With Us in August 2024. In Baldoni's complaint, his attorneys claim that he was targeted in an actual smear campaign that was orchestrated by Sloan at Lively's direction. They wrote that Sloan is a master practitioner of the dark arts of public relations and led an intricately planned character assassination plot. However, and this is a big however, the defamation claim is not just exclusively tied to that exchange with the reporter from the Daily Mail. A huge other part of his valid defamation claim is also tied to the New York Times article. The, according to Team Baldoni, highly defamatory New York Times article and accompanying video. Leslie Sloan, according to Team Baldoni, was highly involved in the creation and curation of all of the New York Times products, the article and the video. It has been alleged that they had Betty Buzzkill's CRD complaint before she even filed it. And in addition to that, the New York Times claimed that they reviewed even more, thousands of pages of emails and texts. Wonder where the basis for all of that defamation came from. How did they get it? Leslie Sloan? Question mark. I have to say question mark because, I got to protect myself legally. So, while Leslie Sloan is trying to paint this out to be some huge win, I don't think it is. Additionally, 2 more little tidbits. As I shared with you just a couple days ago, 14 women's rights groups have submitted a joint amicus proposal in support of Plague Lively. It's interesting, where are all of these women's groups and advocates in Texas? Not a single organization has filed an amicus brief there in support of Blake Smollett. She's dealing with legal drama with Jed Wallace, which I also talked about yesterday. Watch that video. But a content creator named Colonel Cuts has submitted an amicus proposal in support of Justin Baldoni. On one hand, it's good intentioned, and on the other hand, it's publicity stunting, which I respect. A hustler sees the hustle. Good on you. And also an update. Yesterday, I told you all that Dickpool, Ryan Reynolds, was replaced in a new Deadpool VR game for Meta. Yes, Neil Patrick Harris is now playing Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds just shared a super cringy video co-starring his sister-in-law, Robin Lively. He talks about the buttholes that replaced him, and he seems very salty about it. But obviously, given the fact that he made this video, seems like he was in on it. You can watch it on his socials. It's super cringe. You've been warned. All right, my fam, thoughts on everything? Let's discuss in the comments.